Tonic Craft Kit unboxing video. This one is for kit number 26 and it's called Baubles and Bows, so it's kind of a Christmassy, wintry kind of a themed kit. So I've got the piece of paper so I can tell you all the proper names for all the cardstock and everything. And let's get on with the unboxing. We have like, I think it's like jam-packed this month. We seem to have lots of like extra things that are quite like, well, not that pricey, but you know what I mean. They're like good value things that they've thrown in. So one of the first things that you're getting is a 5-inch pair of their needlework and detailed craft scissors, and they've got the like the non-stick titanium coated blades, and they've got double beveled blades with the cush grip handles. These aren't flexible like the Tim Holtz mini snips, so they don't have that flexibleness, but they also don't have the serration of these. So if you don't like that serrated blade that there is on the Tim Holtz mini snips, you can kind of see it, if you don't like the way that looks when you're cutting with them, these ones don't have that serrated blade, which is a really nice alternative as well. But originally, donkeys years ago, my mum got a pair of orange Tonic scissors, and she'd got them for her sewing, and then I wanted to borrow them to do lots of fussy cutting. I think this must have been about 2009 maybe, and this is that same pair. The blades are still absolutely perfect, the handles have seen better days, so when I saw that they were still making these and these had got to this state, I actually ended up buying the newer version of the scissors, which now there is an even newer version, which is the blue version, which you're getting in your kit. So I think I might give my mum the orange pair to replace the pair that I stole all those years ago. I just thought that was like funny to show the history of the Tonic scissors, but I do really love using these scissors. They are really good for fussy cutting as well, because they go to a nice point on the end, and because they haven't got that serration, you don't have to worry about which way round you're holding them in your hand for which side the serration's going to appear when you cut with them. The only thing is they're a little bit harsher on your hands because of that handle doesn't flex like I've got used to with these ones. But for like small amounts of fussy cutting and stuff, it's not too bad on your hands. And I tend to hold my scissors a bit weirdly anyway. But yeah, so that is the first thing we've got in the kit, which is a really nice thing to add into the kit actually, because everybody needs scissors, and you might have been looking at some of Tonic's scissors in the past but haven't taken the plunge and bought them, so now you've actually got them as part of the kit, which is really nice. Then along that same theme of getting like a tool or something really useful, we've also got one of their large bottles of craft tacky glue. It's a 120ml bottle. This was the old packaging. It used to look like this with the green lid, and they've revamped it to go with their Essentials range, and it's now got an orange lid on it, but it's exactly the same glue inside it. I use my glue, this one specifically, a lot for, I've done maybe a couple videos in the past where I labelled them like acrylic pouring with Nuvo stuff, and I was using this as like a pouring medium to use with like the shimmer powders and glitters and bits and pieces like that, but also it's a great glue for when you're doing your mixed media projects. You know, when you cut everything out of grey board, stick it all together and then gesso over it and then go crazy with all the Nuvo stuff. I use that glue, this glue, to stick all of that down. And it holds really nicely. It does take a bit longer to dry than like the normal Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, but it does dry really solid and sticks everything really well. You can use it in your actual like normal crafting instead of like the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, because it does have a nice fine tip on it. You can see how tiny that is. That's already open. You don't need to snip anything off of that, because the idea is that when this clear cap goes on, the very end of that nozzle goes into the piece inside the clear cap, so you definitely don't want to cut anything off of that, unless like your bottle's getting right to the very end and you want to like cut a bit off of it to squeeze the last bit out. But when you get it, you don't need to cut anything off of that. I think it has a seal inside though, pretty sure it does. Yeah, so you just want to peel that off. That's just stopping it from leaking in transit, so you just want to peel that off and then the glue's ready to go. And this bottle will last you quite a long time, because I've got my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive here. This is 60ml, and this is 120, so it's double the amount of the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. And also, if you do find these bottles hard to squeeze, I have one bottle of my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive that I have filled up with this. So if you find that, I mean, this plastic's maybe a tiny bit, yeah, tiny bit stiffer to squeeze, so putting it into this bottle will help you to squeeze out the bottle easier because it's more of a malleable plastic. So that's just another tip as well. If you've used up a bottle of Nuvo Deluxe adhesive or any other glues that you like to use and you like the bottle of it, just decant some into it, and you can use it easier that way if you don't like this kind of a bottle. But I don't have too much of a problem with this kind of bottle. Maybe when you start getting down to the end portion, it's a bit annoying trying to shake it down to the end. But yeah, no, it's a really good glue. I think this is a really great thing for them to have added into the kit. I actually wanted a new one anyway because this is my last one. So I was going to buy a couple more anyway, so now I've got one, which is brilliant. Then you also get, oh, let's go through the Nuvo next. So we get 2 tiny little Nuvo drops, and one of them is in a square bottle, which is the same kind of bottle they put one of the vintage drops in that we got in a previous kit, but this one is actually a stone drop, and it's the little chalk white stone drop, and I think chalk white is like one of the most versatile colours of the stone drops. And if you didn't invest in any of them when they came out, you know, this is a great little tester. You can see if you would like using them, because you can drop a few out, leave them to dry, see if you like that textured look that they dry with. Or I'll try and remember to link it below the video. I did a whole up close video looking at the stone drops with lots of different techniques that you can do with them. I know this is only a small little bottle, but if you find that you like it and you want to buy some more, then there's some more ideas in that video for you. And then the other one that we get is the little Wedgwood blue. I don't think I have this one. It's one of the metallic ones. It is one of the like original kind of colours. I think probably like the second release of Nuvo drops all those years ago. I think this was one of those colours that came out then, but it looks a really gorgeous, like turquoisey kind of, well, not turquoisey, like a slate blue, I suppose, but it's got that gorgeous metallic finish to it as well. I just love these dinky bottles, they look so cute. I've got a really big collection of these now, so they're so cute though. Okay, so as well as that, we've also got a mini Nuvo Glimmer paste as well. This one is, the colour is blue topaz, I think. Yeah, blue topaz. It's really, really gorgeous, this one. I don't think I have a pot of this. No, I don't actually have a pot of this one, so I was going to try and show you it, but you can just see it through the container really, because with these tiny little pots, if you see, the seal is like, well, I suppose the seal's up here, but when you open it, the product is more down at this lip here rather than right the way up here, so there's quite a lot of air that you're trapping inside that pot when you close it. So you could either do that trick of putting a piece of tin foil down to touch the actual product once you've opened it, or you can just try and use it up like within a few months, because this stuff dries like rock when it's dry. So if you're leaving like half the pot is basically air once you've used a bit of it, it's gonna start to dry off inside the pot even if you've closed it. So I recommend either trying whatever method you usually use to try and help your products not dry out as quickly, like maybe spraying in a couple of squirts of distilled water before you put the lid on, or doing the tin foil thing where you push a piece of tin foil inside it. I recommend either doing that or trying to use it up quite quickly. I mean, this is a really nice kit to use it with. I mean, all the colours obviously go together and it's like Christmassy, wintry kind of theme. So you might as well just go to town using it. If you like it, you can buy a full-size one of it. Or if you're not that keen on it, then it doesn't really matter and you've just used up your little pot of it without any of it going to waste because it's dried out or anything. Yeah, because we had a green one in a previous kit and I'd opened it to show on the video, I think, or I'd opened it for a project or something, and I went back to use it like maybe 4 or 5 months later and it had completely gone solid. So definitely try and use it up within a couple of months, I'd say, of opening it. If you leave it sealed, you can leave it for a while. And then another Nuvo part of this kit is the Nuvo Mica Mist. So we've got a little baby Nuvo Mica Mist, and this one is Silver Smoke, which I'm pretty certain is one of the original colours. There was a silver and gold in the original release of them, so I'm pretty certain it's the silver one out of that. But I love the silver one. It's really, really versatile and great for, and you know, like galaxy backgrounds, like flicking some of this in the background looks really cool. Or like I said about using your media dyes, cutting them out of grey board, sticking them all together with this, like black gessoing them, like this on top of that kind of thing looks gorgeous as well. And you could bring in the glimmer paste with that as well. There's lots of different techniques you can do with mica mists. I can't remember if I did an up-close video. I don't know if I was doing them then, or whether I just did a backgrounds video perhaps with the shimmer powders. I'm not 100% sure, but I do use them like periodically through my videos. The biggest tip is about cleaning out the nozzle though, which I think I said in the Blue Blossom unboxing video. But basically, to clean it out, once you've finished using it for the day, you just want to take this sprayer out of it, put the end of the tube in some clear water, and then just keep spraying it so that the uptake tube has got no mica stuck inside it, because it's when all of the liquid's gone and the mica dries, it'll clog up the spray mechanism in the top of it. And I mean, it's not the end of the world if you do clog it up. You can just decant it into another bottle and use that to spray with, or you can just take the uptake tube out and flick it onto your projects, or even tip some out and use it with a paintbrush. But it's just a pain if you clog it up, so you might as well just wash it out to stop the clogging from happening. And I think this is the same little bottle. We had one of those mini sparkle sprays in, and I remember when I sprayed that, it was a really powerful sprayer. So when you finish this as well, provided the nozzle hasn't got clogged up, I think this would be really good, like a handy little travel size for your water as well. Yeah, so hang on to that when you've finished it. Then we also get one of the Craft Perfect Baker's Twine, which at the moment, I think they're still on there. On the Tonic website, they were selling them off really like cheaply in one of their sales. I think they were like either £1 or 75p for one of these rolls. And I really love using these, and it goes perfectly with the dies that we've got because they're to make little tags. And this is absolutely perfect for tags for your, well, for gift tags for your presents. And you could even wrap your presents with this as well. You know, you could wrap them in the wrapping paper. Instead of using curling ribbon, you could use baker's twine, and then the recipient can keep it and use it for other things in the kitchen or something. And this one is in French blue, the colour. I think that's the same one that I have here. You can see I've used quite a bit of this one. Oh, and also, yeah, that I was just using it for this. This baker's twine is fantastic for the Insert Creator die sets, the Exquisite Envelope die set as well. They have this system of like little spines with holes in, and you can use baker's twine to weave up and down them and like bind a sort of memory book style thing together, and that's what I used for all of my ones of those that I've done. I used the baker's twine, and it's always the Tonic baker's twine that I've been using. And then as well, finally, you also get some Nuvo Pure Sheen Sequins. You get one of 4 different pots, so I got the ice white sequins in here, but the other 3 that you could get are the Aqua Aurora, Sapphire Blue and Silver Tinsel. They all came out just over a year ago now in the Let It Snow collection, so these would all be the Let It Snow collection of sequins. And these are the old style of sequins, so the whole pot is just one size, whereas the new ones they've been bringing out this year have been 3 different sizes in the pot, but these are all just one size. But they're all really gorgeous. The ice white ones I got are like a gorgeous, just a shiny white, because their ice white glitter hasn't got any interference in it, so it's just like gorgeous, shiny, pure white sequins. The Aqua Aurora has a little bit of that iridescent interference in it, but it's a really gorgeous aqua colour which goes perfectly with the colour scheme. The Sapphire Blue has almost got that holographic look with the little sort of dotty pattern in it, which is really lovely, and that goes perfectly with lots of the elements from the kit too. And then finally the silver tinsel ones are actually matte. They're like a matte metallic-y sort of sequins. They'll go perfectly with like your satin mirror boards as well. But yeah, so that's the choice of sequins that you'll get. You just get one of these in the kit, but though it'll be out of those 4 different ones. Then I will show you the cardstock, I think. So we get 7 sheets, I think. 1, 2, 3... Yeah, 7 sheets. The first one is the classic card in Arctic Blue, which is obviously that gorgeous textured weave on one side and the plain on the other, the smooth side. You can still see that texture, but it is smooth when you touch it. Then we've got pearlescent cardstock, which is Blue Frost, I think. Yeah, Blue Frost. This one and that textured one and this one both came out in the Ocean Air Craft Perfect colour trend from 2018. If you got that, that's the 2 colours from there. It's a really subtle blue. It almost looks like a kind of off-white, but it's actually a bluey kind of colour. I won't show the whole sheet of the mirror card because you can just see my camera in it. The blue mirror card is called Imperial Blue, which is a really gorgeous blue. Really nice actually. If you get the blue sapphire sequins, they'll go really nicely together as well. Then we have a foiled craft card, which is the Silver Stripes one. This is the one that came out in the original release of foiled craft card, not the one that came in the Merry and Bright collection. Then this one, which I think looks so interesting, it's got a pattern to it, but it's like kind of difficult to detect it, and it's called Azuro Feathers. It's really pretty. It does look like feathers actually. When you get it in the right light, it does look like feathers. And that's just one of their speciality ones, so it's like a pearlescent finish. And then we have one of their handmade papers, which again, I think this one came out in the Ocean Air colour trend. And this one is called Hailstorm. And that is white on the back of it, so you can add your mousses or aquaflows and stuff to it if you wanted to colour it as well. Or you can even add mousse to the top of it as well to slightly change the colour too. And then finally we've got the glitter card, which is called Tropical Tide, and it's really pretty. If you get the Aqua Aurora sequins, they will go absolutely perfectly with that glitter card as well. So they've really thought about the sequins and which, you know, like if you get one, whichever one you get is going to go with the rest of the collection, which is really lovely. So those are all of the papers. Then we've got the sticker, which says Making Spirits Bright, and it's got like, I think, oh no, it is trees in the background. I thought it was strands of fairy lights, but they're little birch trees in the background. And then it's got like little branches and snowflakes, really pretty. And you can stick that wherever you want to really. You can put it on the binder or wherever you like to put them. Then I'm really happy they've got more stamps, because there wasn't any stamps in last month's kit, but there's stamps again this month. We get 2 gorgeous snowflakes, and I even think this one could be a bit Halloween-y, because it kind of looks like little bones here and then a spider's web. So you could try and make that Halloween-y themed. Then you've got 3 sentiments, Jingle All the Way, Warm Winter Wishes. I love that they've put the stag's antlers on that one. And then Joy to the World, where it's wearing a little Santa's hat. And then this gorgeous flourishy one too. I've got 3 ideas planned out to do videos with, so hopefully I'll get them all done and edited before the end of the month. And I really want to do this kind of wreath building one using the snowflakes and this flourishy design, so hopefully it'll work, and I'll get that video out as well. And also in the die set we actually have a couple of coordinating dies that go with the snowflakes and a couple of the sentiments as well. So I'm going to open the packets and I'll put all of the dies onto a magnetic sheet because I think it's easier to show you. And if you do what I do and you take them off, like out the packaging and off these sheets, and you put them on a magnetic sheet, keep these because they're great for putting any die cuts in. Like, you know, when you've been making a project and you've got loads of little bits and pieces left over, shove them in one of these little cellophane bags and keep them for another project. I find that really useful. And you can also, if you're careful with like pulling the adhesive off and stuff, you can also try and salvage some of this acetate for your shaker cards as well. I don't usually say that, but that's what I tend to do with it. I've got my little piece of magnetic sheet, which is just an A4 one I got off eBay, and then I just chop them down to whatever size I want them. And then I'll show you all the dies once I've put them on this sheet. I just find it so much easier to store them on a magnetic sheet because, you know, they're not going to fall off if you've been taking them on and off of the sticky pads on here. But it just depends really how you store your dies, and also like how often you're going to use them as well. Like if you're only going to use this set 2 or 3 times at the moment, like maybe you batch make and you don't need to keep sticking them on and taking them off, the sticky's going to last longer on your packaging, so you can keep them on here if you want to. Or like if you're, obviously pretty much most of you who are watching are just crafters who you know, craft for a hobby, you don't even have to keep your dies in these folders if you didn't want to. You could like take a picture of them and put the picture in the folder so you know what was supposed to be in there, but you could intermingle these with your actual collection of dies. So you, like, you know, they're always there and you know what you've got when you're working on other projects, rather than having to just like more exclusively use the dies that came in a kit. You can like mix them in with whatever else you have. Okay, I might have to rearrange them a little bit to get them to fit. This is always the fun part, isn't it? Trying to figure out how they fitted them all on the magnetic sheet. Okay, that's almost alright. So, there are 2 main baubles in this die set, but also, as I just said before, we have coordinating dies. No, that must be for this one. Yeah, that match the 2 snowflake designs. So you can easily cut those out and add lots of them to your projects, or do these ahead of time. And you can do that tip that I've said in multiples of the kit videos, where you put your images in your stamping platform and stamp them onto a piece of scrap paper that you've attached into the bottom of your stamping platform. Then you die cut the shapes and keep the negative. You then take the negatives and line it up with the stamped image that's taped to your stamping platform. And then you can then cut multiples more of the snowflake designs, insert them back into the negative that's already lined up with the stamped image, ink up the stamp that's still on your stamp platform, and stamp them in, and do like loads and loads and loads of them. That's one of my favourite things to do when I know I'm going to be using lots of them. And like, say you were going to batch make your Christmas cards using some of the elements from this kit, or even just one of the sentiments. You've got the Joy to the World and the Warm Winter Wishes both have coordinating dies, so you can do the same thing with them and then have all your sentiments already ready for your cards as well, which is nice. I really do love that Warm Winter Wishes with the antlers on it. It's really cool. So the rest of the die set, because I got distracted before. So you have, I'll show you these bits first. You've got 2 pennant banners. You get one of the outside shape, and then you've got the 2 different ones that can go inside it. This one's got more like a 4-petaled kind of a flowery look to it, and this one, I think it's snowflakey. It's difficult to tell when you haven't cut them, but I think it's kind of a snowflakey design. But, you know, to see all of these already cut out, go and have a look at the Tonic's unboxing video, because I'm pretty sure Alison had display boards of all the bits and pieces cut out. And then you also get 2 really decent sized baubles as well, which are perfect for your gift tags because they already have the hole inside them. And one of my videos is going to be just making a few different gift tags, because I really enjoy making gift tags. And so you have the outside portion, which would cut you your whole solid gift tag piece, and then on each of the designs you also have your layering die. So for this one it's a circle, so it's just a basic circle die, which will be useful for loads of different things afterwards as well. And then you get 2 patterns, so you can just cut half the bauble, or you could line up the same pattern on both sides, or you can use the 2 different patterns together. And this one, if you just use this chevron one inside the circle twice, that's not Christmassy at all. So that would be a lovely little circle background topper for a card. And also this one, you can use the inside shape of it, and I mean, just that by itself, you could make that into like a radish and do like a funny punny sort of card, or maybe up this way you could make it into a flower bulb, or even like an onion or something, or garlic for someone who loves their cooking and stuff. So there's loads of different things you can do with just the basic shapes as well. And for this one, to make it non-Christmassy, you can just use that portion of it and have that little bit of design in it, rather than, although this bit is actually only star themed, so you could easily do that like you're a star kind of a sentiment on a card. And then as well as all of the inside pieces and the baubles, you also get for both of them, you get a half cut. So this one is a half circle, and I think the idea is that you would cut this onto your card, and then you would tuck the bauble inside it, or whichever way up you wanted to do it. So it would create like a kind of pocket to hide the bauble on your card, or maybe it's got a secret message on it or something, or you've stuck a gift card to it perhaps, and then you're going to slide it inside a little pocket on the front of your card. Or I was thinking you could try and do something for like a half aperture on a card and make it into a shaker, and you could have that's the half aperture with the design in it, and then you could use your craft knife to cut the last piece along, so you've got like a semicircle aperture. I thought that would work quite nicely. Or what else could you use it for? Oh yeah, the other thing I was thinking of, so let's see if it, I thought of this the other day and I didn't write it down, but I just remembered, so that's good. Now I can't pick up the die. So I was thinking, if these are both the same, yes they are, so I was thinking you could cut both of these together in the front panel of your card. You could use a double-sided colour of card, or you could use a patterned paper that has a different pattern on the other side, and then once this is die cut, you'll have like a separate section here, but this would just create an aperture. But you could add little fold lines just here and flip this piece back the other way, so then you'd have an aperture on that side, but you'd have the other pattern on the other side of the card on this side, if that makes any sense. I just thought that would be a kind of cool extra design element that you could use this little half die for as well. I do really love half dies. They're very, very useful. There's a set, 2 sets actually, of extra nesting dies that go with the hexagon and octagon kaleidoscope box lids that give you like different patterns to put on the top of them, and there's some half hexagons and half octagons in there, and also the, what were they called? I can't remember. Were they called like silhouette frames or something like that? Though there was a set of 3 different circles, and they had 2 different designs of like florally things on both sides of them. They had half circles in them as well. Like obviously a lot larger than this little one, but I do find half dies are very useful as well. Or actually, if you just wanted an extra mat, you can just cut that twice and create a full circle and use that as a slightly bigger circle than actually it should make a circle that's the same size as the bauble. So if you wanted to perhaps cut the bauble and this one together and create a tiny little skinny frame around it, and you don't have any other nesting circles, you could use this one to create a full circle to go behind that. Or if you've cut the pattern into there and you want a proper circle to go behind it, you can just use that behind the whole thing as well. But anyway, I think I've rambled on enough and I've shown you everything now. So yeah, hopefully there will be 3 videos up using all of the elements from the kit. I'm sorry my last month's kit videos were so late towards the end of the month. I just had so much to do, I didn't get a chance to edit them all. But hopefully I will be better at editing. I'm going to try and film them all tomorrow and then try and edit them so that you'll have them quite soon after this one goes up. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing video of kit number 26 of the Tonic Craft Kit. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye!